After catastrophic relationships with R&B singers Case and K-Ci Hailey, Mary J. Blige found love again with Kendu Issacs. Or so she thought. The queen of hip-hop soul got swept off her feet by a man she would later describe as a con artist. Sadly, she ignored all the red flags that were busting her upside the head. If you hate it when we dive deep into other people's business, well, I'm not gonna cry, I'm not gonna cry, I'm not gonna shed no tears. No, I'm not gonna cry. It's not the time, 'cause you're not worth my tears. Can't do it. But for the rest of y'all, be sure to scoop up something to munch on at rrgsnacks.com, our online concession stand that has an assortment of beef and bacon jerky, toasted corn nuts, and green apple licorice. In an interview with The Telegraph, Mary J. Blige said that after her toxic relationship with Case Hailey came to an end, she fell deeper into drinking heavily and abusing substances. She would sometimes stay up for 3 days at a time. Her lifestyle was starting to affect her career, and she knew she needed to make some major changes. Meanwhile, in the year 2000, music manager and producer Kendu Issacs was working on a song with Queen Latifah in a Detroit studio when he thought to himself, we should put Mary on this song. Queen Latifah's people reached out to Mary's people, and she was told that Mary was on tour. But when Mary's tour stopped in Detroit, Mary went to the studio and laid eyes on Kendu, who she described as being cute in an interview with Essence. However, Mary said she left Kendu alone because she thought he and Queen Latifah were a couple. I know you lying. They all hung out later that night, and Mary and Kendu got an opportunity to chit-chat. He told Essence magazine he was ready to take Mary to Pound Town on that first night, but it didn't happen. He said, when we got in close proximity to each other, it felt weird. It felt like a brother-sister relationship. Now, what the hell? He was ready to lay the pipe, but he also didn't feel a romantic connection with her? Okay. They went their separate ways, but Kendu was eager to see her again. For what? With some help from Queen Latifah, he and Mary exchanged contact information. Mary was particularly affected by Aaliyah's passing on August 25, 2001. Although they weren't close friends, Mary told Oprah Winfrey, "My life was her life. She was surrounded by people who weren't telling her the real deal." And then 9/11 happened a few weeks later, and Mary was completely traumatized by the events. She fell into a deeper depression. One afternoon while in a hotel room in Florida, she was spiraling to her lowest point. While she contemplated her life, the phone rang. It was Kendu. She told Essence magazine it was the first conversation she had with a guy who wasn't just interested in blowing her back out. Kendu proceeded to tell her that he had the right medicine to heal her. Now wait a minute, child. What kind of medicine was he trying to give Auntie Mary? This don't even sound right. With Kendu's support, Mary decided she didn't need to go to rehab. Instead, she and Kendu turned to a higher power. Now listen, there's nothing wrong with relying on your faith and turning to God during times of despair. However, sometimes God leads us to the answers, and those answers come in the form of rehab and professional help. But anywho, Mary slowly started to let her guard down. And by slowly, we mean she was stuck in place and frozen, like Mitch McConnell when he was glitching out during that press conference. Mary admitted to Parade magazine that she treated him badly for a while because she was suspicious and he seemed too good to be true. Child, the gift of discernment was trying to tell her he was a Mr. Wrong. She told CBS News that past childhood trauma affected her relationships as an adult. Because of that, she found it hard to accept that Kendu really loved her. She said, and he really did love broken down little old me, because I just never saw myself like the woman that a man like him would want. Eventually, she became sober after Kendu threatened to leave her if she didn't. She forgave all the people from her past and decided she was ready to receive true love. They moved in together, and we're pretty sure that meant they moved into her home. They told Essence magazine that after studying the Bible some more, they decided to refrain from knocking boots. That also meant that Kendu needed to pack up and
Get to stepping.
because, it's hard to abstain from intimacy when there's a rock-hard dangling. Never mind, y'all get the point. So Kendu packed up his spin-a-night bags and left the house. They continued dating, and in December 2003, they got married at her New Jersey home. An instant family was formed as Mary became a stepmom to Kendu's 3 children from his previous relationships: 4-year-old Jordan, 3-year-old Nasir, and 16-year-old Brianna. They settled down in a $12 million mansion in New Jersey. Mary's sister LaTanya, who also worked as her manager, was fired and replaced by Kendu. Mary's career was flourishing, but tomfoolery was right around the corner. Her friends were concerned that Kendu had put that hocus pocus on her, and anyone who brought the hateration, holleration in this dancery was given the boot, including her longtime friend and collaborator, Lil' Kim. Mary told Wendy Williams during a radio interview,
"No, I don't have any friends, They all washed their hands and were done with me when they thought that this guy put a voodoo curse on." All I can hear was, he all in her head. And it's like, if you were ever my friend, you would know that no man can persuade me to do anything because I'm a stubborn monster in the flesh. But in the spirit, I'm submissive and obedient to my man.
But even Kendu's eldest daughter, Brianna, who later appeared on Growing Up Hip Hop, made it clear that her daddy was trash. In a since-deleted Instagram post, Brianna said she only had 3 pictures of her and Kendu together. She added, "I honestly made every excuse for you, but the reality is you're garbage." Dang! During a December 2009 record release party, footage was captured of Mary giving Kendu the business. Mary's team later said an altercation between Mary's brother and Kendu went down, and Mary got in between them to break up the fight. However, the New York Post called cap. The media outlet claimed not only did Mary smack Kendu in the face, but she left a bite mark on his hand after she caught him flirting with a waitress. So, was there trouble in paradise? You betcha. Insiders told Page 6 that Kendu was verbally abusive to Mary and controlling. The insider said he'd say the most negative to her 5 minutes before she hit the stage. Now, we don't typically source from random gossip blogs. However, Hollywood Street King is one of our trusted sources, and they spilled some major tea back in 2012. The website was one of the first to report that Kendu was having an affair with Mary's artist, Starshell. The website added that suspicions surrounding Kendu's affair drove Mary to return to drinking heavily. Mary hung in there with Kendu for a few more years, though, despite what she described as Kendu's overwhelming disrespect toward the end of their marriage. Mary told Angie Martinez she could sense things were falling apart when he began questioning her about her cooking and her hairstyle. Mary said, "You start to realize that this man doesn't want you, and he's just gone all the time, and you're by yourself in the relationship." In a Chat with People Everyday podcast, Mary revealed that at some point during their marriage, Kendu told her she was done, washed up, fat, and that her fans were old and didn't like her anymore. She said she started to believe he was right and even considered throwing in the towel. However, it was the love from her fans that encouraged her to keep making music. She finally came to her senses and filed for divorce in 2016 after 12 years of marriage. She also fired him as her manager. In an interview with Variety, Mary said she thought Kendu loved her, but he turned out to be a con artist who was after her money. She said, "There was someone else that was his queen. I got played. I got suckered." So who exactly was the other woman in his life? Well, Hollywood Street King was on the money with their 2012 allegation that Kendu was blowing out Starshell's back. Mary spoke of the pain and hurt caused by their affair in her VH1 documentary and even referred to Starshell as Becky with the good hair. Mary said that once the affair came to light, Kendu threatened to destroy her career. If that wasn't messy enough, in her divorce docs obtained by TMZ, Mary said he used about $420,000 of her money on his new girlfriend. Starshell denied all the allegations. Mary also claimed Kendu refused to turn over possession of her Grammy and other achievement awards. She added that she was the only breadwinner in their family, and she was burdened with all of the debts, which totaled more than $10 million. Oh, hell no. Kendu, with his broke ass, demanded close to $130,000 per month in spousal support. He claimed that after getting fired as her manager, he had no income to support himself or his 2 minor children. Mary asked to terminate the court's ability to award him spousal support, and in court docs, she wrote, "I am not responsible for supporting his parents and his children from another relationship, which he lists as ongoing monthly expenses." I know that's right. Not only was Kendu scrambling for coins, but with his money gone, the honey was gone too, child. Star Shell moved on with investment coach Rashawn Williams and is now the mother of 2 children. People magazine reported Mary was ordered to pay Kendu temporary spousal support in the amount of $30,000 per month. She also had to pay his court fees, which totaled $235,000. After the 2017 release of her album Strength of a Woman, which Kendu believed was entirely about their publicized divorce, he asked a judge to grant him an increase of temporary spousal support in the amount of $65,000 a month. Kendu told the court he was living in a 1,400 square foot apartment in Los Angeles and said he needed more funds to live a decent life. His lawyer also claimed Kendu was experiencing physical manifestations of stress and emotional distress, which caused him to become hospitalized. Kendu claimed he was unemployable and it was impossible for him to pay his rent without an increase in spousal support payments. Mary clapped back in a tweet captured by the Jasmine brand, where she wrote that she hated Kendu and his entire family. We're unsure if her account was hacked or if she was just in her feelings. Their divorce was finalized in 2018, and the terms were kept confidential. In 2022, Mary released a new album called Good Morning Gorgeous. In the song Rent Money featuring Dave East, she sings, me. You must be used to me spending. Look now my rent money due. I spent everything with you. She told Angie Martinez the song was about how she had to pay all that alimony to Kendu, and she didn't have any more money to give because he had spent it all. She added that she even had to go out on tour in order to make money so she could hand it over to him. Looking back at her marriage and all the red flags, Mary now realizes Kendu wasn't the right man for her. She told BBC Radio, in the future, she'll only accept a partner who has more money than her because she refuses to take care of another man. She also told Self magazine that she gave too much credit to Kendu for helping her overcome her addiction when he didn't deserve the credit at all. She was too busy looking for a savior instead of addressing the deep-rooted pain that she was harboring within. She's now at peace, debt-free. She has reconciled with her friends, and her main priority is reparenting the little girl deep down inside who experienced so much unaddressed trauma. She said, "Right now, it's about me and little Mary. It's like, that's my baby, my little girl. She needs my help, and I'm not going to ever let anybody hurt her again."